my name is Molly. I am a fan of the brick, and today we're talking about Bricks Cascade 2012. I found the very first program from the very first Bricks Cascade. Yes, I was there. I didn't know anybody. It was very awkward. We were in Hall E that year, and look how tiny the floor plan was. And then this is a list of all the people who were there. There I am, right there. Made me surprised to see how many people have actually been coming since 2012. This is only like 115 people, which is crazy, because now there's like over 500 people that come. There's Grant, Laura, Joe Larson, Kevin Hinkle was there that year. He did work for Lego. Jean Tucker and Janelle, Lige, Alice Finch. I remember her being there. I also remember Marianne Sanuma being there. Rick and Bill Ward. Secretary Bob Day. So it started on Friday, and we had the opening ceremonies at 12 o'clock. And they had games. There was the pair build competition, the build in a bag competition. Did I do build in a bag? Freestyle build. Okay, so one of the very first games we had at this con was the blind minifig sort. Okay, so you know like the collectible minifigs? Back then there were only like 6 series, and you were supposed to feel the bag and decide what was in it. And I had been, feeling those bags at the store, so I was like, well, I'll be okay at this. I remember I was like partners, sort of like we were supposed to watch each other do it. I'm sitting there like blindly feeling these bags, and I'm like, I have no idea. And then like we switched, and then Marianne Azanuma did it, and she got like all of them. I also remember this game where they mixed in a bunch of Lego and Mega Block, and you were supposed to only grab the Lego, and whoever got the most Lego, but you like lost points for having Mega Block in it. That game was fun. There was the Team Speedball, but I'm pretty sure I didn't do it that year. One of the very first 2 years, it was the London Bridge. So, was that the London Bridge this year? I don't remember exactly. The keynote Q&A that night, Saturday night, was, I think, with Kevin Hinkle. I don't remember anything about that. I do remember that my name got drawn for a prize, and you didn't get to pick your prize, so I got a bag of like Lego leaves, except they weren't made by Lego. They were this other company, this small company that does 3D printing and stuff. And I was excited about the leaves because they were orange, and Lego didn't make them in that color, and it was like, ooh, I could do like a fall scene. It seemed like most people were getting sets. You get a set, and you get a set, and I get a bag of leaves. I bought the shirts because Bricks Cascade. Bought that like on Saturday. There was a train jousting competition, but I actually don't remember watching that.
We got camera.
I'll try my tool again.
So it's a funny story about how I even found out about this in the first place. So I was into Lego. I had built some stuff, and I had heard about BrickCon. I had been up at the Emerald City Comic Con. There was a Lego display up there. I had talked to the people running it. They were like, yeah, we're doing this thing called BrickCon, and you should come. And I was like, cool. I'll come, I'll come this fall. Didn't know about Bricks Cascade, it was a brand new thing. So one day I'm on Facebook, and I get an ad on Facebook, and it's like, as a fan of the Oregon Convention Center, you may be interested in this Lego Con. It's next week. So I immediately like ran and signed up. I think I was one of the last people to get signed up before they printed this thing. And I had a few things that I had already built. So that con happened right in the midst of when I was doing that Anne of Green Gables story thing. I've talked about that in other videos. Maybe I'll just put the link down there in case you missed that other video about Anne of Green Gables. But anyway, I did a Lego house. I did the Green Gables house, and I had a lighthouse and a little train station. So I was like, well, I can bring all those, yay, but I also want to bring like something else. So I really quickly put together a micro scale-ish Disneyland, which was on a 48 by 48 base plate, and put that together. Another thing that I brought, so back then they used to have a category for brick films, and I had just done a little brick film earlier that year. So I brought that, and that got played on the TV screen a little bit. So at the time, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna bring my Anne of Green Gables house, and it's gonna be cool. And I brought it in, and I sat it down on the table, and I remember being like, oh, what have I gotten myself into? Because literally, like, I had this 32 by 32 house and it was the smallest thing on the table. It looked about this big compared to everything else. I don't remember who told me to put it where. I just set it down. I was right next to this giant calendar made by Jean Tucker. I remember her being super sweet. So she had this cool calendar for 2012 there. And then on the other side of my build was Alan Smith's swimming pool, which was this build like 4 times as big as Anna Green Gables' house. And so throughout the con, I would be sitting by my mock behind the tables, and the public would be walking by, and they'd be like, "Ooh, cool calendar," and then zoop, "Cool pool! Oh my gosh, look at the pool!" And I felt like my thing was just totally like being ignored, which, you know, sometimes it's fun to sit behind your mocks at cons and get comments, and sometimes you just get kind of depressed. Alan and Jean have both come to many, many more Bricks Cascades, and I've seen many other awesome things that they've done, and it's just funny that I remember those two people's builds from that very first one because I was positioned right next to them. Another thing that I was super excited about at that particular con was the massive bulk dump. So this guy named Angel and his brother, they bring this massive amounts of Lego and sell it by the pound. And in recent years, they've done it at tables at their booth, but back then, there was this whole room where they just dumped everything on the floor, and we were all like, pew, dived in and like filling our bags. And I do feel like now, stuff that they put out as bulk isn't as exciting as it was in 2012. In 2012, I was finding so many cool pieces. And even though I'd already been to Bricks and Minifigs, and I'd done the whole like searching through bulk, this was so awesome. This was like, you know, just on the floor. We were diving in. We didn't care. And I got a bag of pieces, and I also bought like this cabin set so that I put those pieces with the cabin set and made like this new like inventor's cabin, which I was super proud of at the time. Now I'm like, whatever, I don't know what that was, but it was like, it was so cool to just sit there and build something with the pieces I had. It really seemed to like my creativity. I liked that. So these are the vendors that were there that year. 2012, a good year. I almost missed it because I didn't know about it until a week before. But I'm telling you, I'm really glad I went, and gone every year since. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram or Twitter as Mo Makes Stuff Up. Bye!